Welcome to this episode of WildlightTV, coming to you from Mount Maunganui. We've spent the last week here enjoying this seaside, and it's been a great opportunity to do some more work with the Nikon 300mm f4 and D500 combination. The more I use this, the more I'm loving it, and it's proving to be a real game changer when it comes to bird photography. My kit up until now has been a 500 f4 on a full frame body like the D3S, D800, D810, and that's a fairly heavy chunk of gear to lug around with you. This is a much smaller and lighter combination, making it much easier to carry. And because of that, I've had some opportunities that I otherwise would have missed. On a full frame body, the 300 f4 gives you a nice range for close bird work. You can add the 1.4 teleconverter to it, which gives you a 420mm f5.6 equivalent. When used with the D500, you get the 1.5 crop factor, which gives you 450mm f4 equivalent with the lens by itself, or with the 1.4 teleconverter, the equivalent of a 630mm f5.6, which is plenty for the vast majority of bird work.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
We've had some great opportunities on reef herons, which we've been chasing for a few years without success. Usually we'd decide to lug around the heavy gear in the hope of seeing a reef heron and sometimes leave it behind because we didn't think the chances were great. But this week we've had the light gear with us all the time, and because of that we've had two great opportunities on them, and we'll be able to share some of those pictures with you in a subsequent episode. Also had great fun this morning on goldfinches feeding in the thistle heads and feeding baby birds, which is also an opportunity that I wouldn't have got if I'd been having to lug the heavy gear. So it's a real joy to have something light with that much reach that's easy to carry around and have available. The other thing that's really shown itself has been the autofocus of the D500, which I've mentioned before. The initial impression was that it was really fast and good at holding focus, and that's just been reinforced the more I use it. Some of that is due to the lighter lenses being used, enabling you to hold the focus point more steadily on the subject, but it really seems to grab focus very quickly. Gosh, there's a little yellowhammer down on the rock there. Sorry about that. Just having the gear with you all the time presents opportunities that normally you would miss if you're having to bring heavy stuff. The heavy lens needs a monopod to support it, and with this light gear you can actually hold framing on a subject waiting for things to happen. And yesterday I got a lovely shot of a kingfisher in flight because I knew it was going to fly, and I was able to hold it in frame on the edge just waiting for it to take off, and got shots as it left. With the heavy gear, if I hadn't had a monopod, it wouldn't have been an option. So it's really quite exciting. I'm finding it a real joy to use this gear, and I think it's going to change the way I work significantly in the future. For travel it's really good. I'm really beginning to question the need for the big heavy glass. for me, the one thing that's paramount is sharpness. And I don't think there's a lot of point in having a lot of reach or light lens that doesn't deliver sharp images. And on that front, the 300f4 with or without the 1.4 teleconverter is incredibly sharp. It doesn't give anything away to the longer glass. So that's one thing that's really pushing me to use it more and more. So there we have it, a bit more about the Nikon 300f4 and the D500, which is becoming my go-to combo for birds. It'd be nice to share some of the images that we've got with you in a subsequent episode. And remember to subscribe if you want to keep in touch with what we're doing. Cheers from Mount Maunganui. Two other things we're testing with this video is the wireless lavalier mic of Paul's, the Boya lavalier mic that we're using as a wireless connector through onto his Canon DSLR. The one advantage with it is it lets him monitor the audio with headphones while we're shooting, and hopefully will give us some slightly better sound quality. It also lets us work from a distance so that he doesn't have to be that close as previously with the shotgun mic. The other thing we're using is the Manfrotto fluid head on a tripod, hopefully giving some nice stable shots and enabling some nice smooth pans. So two bits of gear that we're trialling, and hopefully we'll add a bit more of a variety of the type of shots we can get and give a bit more opportunity for editing options in the future.